AFRTS, you're watching Spectrum Flashback TV. It's classic television.
The best of times is now. What's left of summer but a faded rose? The best of times is now. As for tomorrow, well, who knows? Who knows? Who knows? So hold this moment fast and live and love as hard as you know how, and make this moment last, because the best of times is now, is now, is now.
Flashback trivia about the Beverly Hillbillies. According to Granny, how was Jed Clampett paid for his oil? Stay tuned for the answer.
If you dip, you may be putting more than tobacco between your cheek and gum. Ingredients like lead, arsenic, formaldehyde, even radon and polonium-210. There are at least 28 carcinogens in smokeless tobacco, and every one of them can lead to cancer. Not just in your mouth, but also in your bladder and pancreas. So before you open another can of snuff, think about what's really in it for you.
Throughout history, careful planning has been a part of most successful battle strategies. By mapping out a plan of attack, goals are defined and priorities are established. The same can be said about pursuing a college education. When you create goals and plan ahead, you're able to best utilize your financial aid and ensure the courses you take will apply toward your goals. Careful planning can save you time and money, and that can be a winning strategy in any endeavor.
Save a place for me.
Don't make us choose. Please support the United Negro College Fund.
1 out of every 4 babies is not fully immunized. Your child could get a deadly disease. Get all your babies' shots before age 2. You gave them life. Protect it.
Here's the answer to our flashback trivia question about how Jed was paid for his oil. According to Granny, Jed was paid for his oil with a new kind of money known as $1 million. The Beverly Hillbillies continues on Spectrum Flashback TV.
Today's hometown comes to us from Staff Sergeant Brenda A. Thomas Glory. Staff Sergeant Thomas Glory is currently stationed at Camp Humphreys, Korea, and her hometown is Cruz Bay on St. John in the U.S. Virgin Islands. I'm Air Force Tech Sergeant Mike Lamb. That's your Space A forecast from the Air Mobility Command.
Well, I'm off to conquer new lands. Possible?
Yes, Your Majesty. You'll look after the palace, but you'll need to grant me either general or special power of attorney.
Well, no one has special power but me, so let's make it general.
Delightful. Sign here.
Not knowing the difference between a general and a special power of attorney could land you in a royal mess.
Parsifal's Palace, may I help you?
The moral of the story? Consult your legal assistance office first.
You're watching the Beverly Hillbillies on Spectrum Flashback TV.
Production.
This is Spectrum Flashback TV, classic television. Some things are worth repeating.
Environmental tip number 1. Speak the language.
Di vetro. Plastica. Carta. Glass. Plastic. Papier.
No matter what country you live in, recycling begins at home.
in touch with your friends and save money on postage by sending mail MPS to friends and colleagues living in Europe. That's right, just write MPS in the upper right corner of letters and correspondence and it'll be shipped for free. Now keep in mind though, the military postal system does recommend paying postage and fees for high-value items you send. Keep in touch with your friends. Talk to your unit postal clerk about mailing for free via MPS.
The Air Force Honor Guard proudly represents the Air Force at ceremonial functions at home and around the world. From funeral ceremonies and presidential inaugurations to change of command and retirement ceremonies, the Honor Guard embodies such military values as commitment, professionalism, and discipline. The Air Force Honor Guard, reflecting the pride of the United States Air Force. Armed Forces Ceremonial Units. America's ambassadors of pride.
Flashback trivia for the Munsters. What is the Munsters' address? Stay tuned for the scary answer, boys and girls, after this.
Through the eyes of military photographers, this is Combat Camera. I'm Petty Officer Quinn Litton. Defense leaders recently warned of more trouble brewing in the Balkans. Army General Wesley Clark says Montenegro may become another hotspot. Bosnia has stabilized, but UN troops are still there to provide a secure environment, training together to keep the peace. At a firing range in the Republic of Srpska, American and Russian soldiers trade weapons knowledge. A Russian officer explains how to use an AK-47. U.S. Private First Class Nestor Reyes checks out a Russian machine gun. Americans also teach the Russians. Private First Class Philip Salter shows how to use a squad automatic weapon. Specialist Jeffrey Petratz demonstrates how to use an M240 machine gun, knowledge a Russian paratrooper later puts to use while atop a Humvee. The American and Russian soldiers are supporting Operation Joint Forge in Bosnia.
Here's the answer to our flashback trivia question about the Munsters' address. The Munster family lived at 1313 Mockingbird Lane, Mockingbird Heights. That was before they had a homeowners association. Now, let's get back to more Flashback TV on Spectrum.
U.S. Army Europe has spent the past 2 years preparing military communities for the Y2K event. Although there is no 100% guarantee, military communities can expect minimal disruption. But if there is a problem, USER and every ASG will have 24-hour response team centers set up from December 31st through January 7th. If you have questions, call USER's Y2K hotline at DSN 1999 or visit the USER Y2K website.
Americans and 235.
Active duty reservists and National Guard members, don't forget to bring your TDY orders with your ID card to the commissary. Only active duty or active training members have commissary shopping privileges in Europe. Don't forget your TDY orders.
Your unit is a lot like this powerful machine. Everyone has to do their part for it to remain effective and ready. And while sexual harassment may seem like an isolated problem, it's not. It interferes with job performance, which can jeopardize your unit's readiness. Keep your unit free of sexual harassment and keep it from falling apart.
You're watching The Munsters on Spectrum Flashback TV.
The picturesque mountain town of Asheville, North Carolina, is the birthplace of American novelist Thomas Wolfe. The setting of his first novel, Look Homeward Angel, is strikingly like his hometown. He populated the novel with an alcoholic tombstone merchant married to a proud and mercenary woman. and their young son, destined to become a writer. It was an unmistakable portrait of Wolfe's own family. From first to last, Wolfe's books chronicled the life experience of a Southern-born writer who wanted, as he wrote, the two things all men want, to be loved and to be famous. Wolfe did achieve fame and never lost his passionate regard for his birthplace. Of his fictional alter ego, Wolfe wrote, "The mountain town had for him enormous authority. It was for him the center of the earth, the small but dynamic core of all life."
Arthur W. Matthews, Specialist, United States Army. 032 40 8807.
Article 5 of the Code of Conduct is designed to help you survive captivity honorably and may help you prevent the capture of your fellow soldiers.
16 March 1977.
When questioned, should I become a prisoner of war, I am required to give name, rank, service number, and date of birth. I will evade answering further questions to the utmost of my ability. I will make no oral or written statements disloyal to my country and its allies or harmful to their cause.
You're watching Whose Line Is It Anyway on Spectrum Flashback TV. Flashback trivia question, whose line is it anyway? Which performers in the American version of the show also appeared in the British version? Stay tuned and I'll ad-lib an answer.
Quitting smoking isn't easy. You're going to face some hurdles. But even if you have a temporary relapse and start smoking again, pick yourself up and start over. Renew your determination to be a non-smoker, and you'll succeed.
It's usually pretty easy to spot a biker. They wear black helmets, black leather jackets, black gloves, and big black boots. Yes, bikers are easy to spot by day, but at night, it's a different picture. If you ride, you've got to increase your visibility. Wear bright, reflective clothing both day and night. Never ride in a blind spot, and always keep your lights on, even in daytime. After all, if you're a biker, you deserve to be noticed.
Energy efficiency delivers powerful savings for you and the planet. For easy tips, write Alliance to Save Energy, Washington, D.C.
Flashback trivia answer, whose line is it anyway? Two performers in the American version have been regulars on the British version. Ryan Stiles, he's the tall, skinny guy, and Greg Proops, a frequent guest performer. And I didn't even notice an English accent. Cheerio, and back to Flashback TV on Spectrum.
In 1797, America was tested on the high seas. With hardware provided by Paul Revere, the USS Constitution and two other frigates were built to combat French privateers seizing American ships in the West Indies. France, at war with Britain, was trying to shut down trade between the U.S. and England. Congress responded by ordering America's militia to mobilize for war against France. Meanwhile, in the Mediterranean, the Barbary pirates were looting American vessels. Instead of sending our fleet to do battle on yet another front, newly inaugurated Second President John Adams agreed to pay tribute to the pirates to protect U.S. ships. In rural America, farmers were voicing their concern about a cast-iron plow invented by Charles Newbold. They feared it might poison the soil because it was made of metal. This was America in 1797.
The AFRTS News Center presents The Leaders. The Defense Department's senior military leader, General Henry Shelton, says the world's civil authorities are key to sustaining global peace.
The military, as I've said in the past, you know, the military is a great hammer, but not every problem is a nail. And here we have a case where we've provided the hammer to step in and establish, again, a secure and peaceful environment. And that's being done by all these great men and women standing in BDUs around here. But in terms of the long-term solution to the challenges that we face here, as well as in Bosnia, it takes the international community to get energized and provide the funding, get the civil institutions, get the police on the beat, get the court system set up, and all those other things that have got to take place before you really normalize a society.
From the AFRTS News Center, this has been The Leaders.
Oh, Derek, what would we do if something unexpected happens? What if I lost my job? What if the car breaks down? What if the cat gets sick? What would we do?
I've got it. We'll set aside an emergency cash reserve.
Of course. We'll need at least 3 months of living expenses to help us cover any unexpected emergencies.
That's a fantastic idea, Sylvia. But why do you still look so distressed?
Because, Derek, you're standing on my foot.
Just because something's been around for a long time doesn't mean it won't change. Like your VA benefits. SGLI life insurance used to be limited to $100,000. But now they've raised the ceiling on life insurance, and that's good news for you. Make sure you get all that's coming to you. Contact your family center or education center often to learn what's up with your VA benefits.
Bellissimo.
Because every now and then, they change the ceiling.
Master Sergeant Peter Thornton gives blood regularly because he knows the blood he donates helps save lives. Sergeant Major Hughes received donor platelets to control bleeding. Cryoprecipitate, a blood clotting agent, was given to little Joshua, who was born with hemophilia. And an infusion of red blood cells helped Mrs. Michaels recover from her surgery. Sergeant Thornton is doing his share because he knows our supply is your supply.
Your child's life. Set a safe example by always buckling up. Chances are your children will follow.
From AFRTS, you're watching Spectrum Flashback TV. It's classic television.